we find ourselves back into this place, back into the whole cesspool of magic, into the debris known as a watering hole. It's not that difficult to find. People can find them everywhere, except for in a very, very dangerous, poisonous forest. Managed to get in here with Wynn's own breakthroughs and Eula's own tutelage. You managed to get in here and I'd say join up for a little bit with the mercenary team that was more or less trying to get information from you guys, as well as one of these, now that you know, Pegasi. Don't know the plural. I'm pretty sure that was it. Anyways,
Pegasi.
Pegasi, yeah, which makes a lot more sense. Anyways, you guys also more or less need the information on where they're going at the end of their journey, because any new land that is viable to live in a place known as the Forbidden Zone, always good. There's only a scant few of cities within this area, and beyond that, you would have to travel a good distance. Many people perish during this journey, but more and more people have been surviving thanks to the breakthroughs of the R&D department. Your department, more or less, Section 9, is the tail end of that. They're not well liked. More on that maybe later. In order to complete this mission and not get it penalized, you set forth to acquire information. You guys decided to fight, and so far you've been kicking butt. 2 riders have already been taken down. The leader is currently moving through the water. 2 are attacking Eula, but they themselves are also quite hurt. And that's where we found ourselves last. After your guys' fight will be Dirk and the rest of his team. You do not know if you want to help them or not. So far you've been knocking out the opponents, so they would have at least the numbers. And that's where we find ourselves. Whether or not you decide to murder them is entirely up to you. These people, known as the Valkyries, value strength, as Finn has told you. And these ones specifically, I'm not saying all of them, but these ones specifically don't know a hefty amount of magic. And as Finder suggested, they shepherd people to death. Yeah, that's more spiritual than magic, but okay.
Runes aren't magic, what?
Not every Valkyrie knows runes. Anyways, I believe it's Sigvold's turn. Unfortunately, he is sick this week, so I will try to quickly do his thing. I am probably going to forget a lot of things, so I'm just going to say...
Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast. I'll just do this thing. Let's see here. Spells. Oh no. He's macroed everything into an attack. Which is good for him, but I don't know his things. What has he done before? He's already used his Hellish Rebuke. He's done initiative. History. Okay, I'm just gonna do this. Ice Spike. They're gonna do Ice Spike on the failed save, half 120 feet. Directed towards the enemy, let's say the leader, because he'd probably do that. A shard of ice shoots up into towards their feet. The leader will make a dexterity saving throw, plus their bonus to pass 15. I believe, I don't know the spell well enough, so I'm going to say they still take 2 damage. That is Sigvold's turn. At the end of Sigvold's turn, Camila takes her turn, roll for breath weapon. Does not get breath weapon bike. She would probably get closer, but not fully leave the aura since she would like to be healed still. So it gets this close. Win.
What's up?
It is your turn. I'm just going to mark everyone that's currently an opponent with blue. Oh, is that guy to the north? Yeah, that guy's to the north still conscious. They just can't move anywhere. Barely, though.
Okay.
Look how clumsy they are.
Alright, so I don't think I want to get much closer, but I will send my spirit down. You guys are too far away. I guess my spirit will approach here, just in case I'm here. And I would like to cast. I have a question.
Yeah.
So Valkyries, they count as like celestials, right?
They count as... They count as... I don't have to tell you. I think Finn only had the information. Finn, they count as angelic beings. I think he would have told Win.
I definitely wouldn't psychically pass that along with all the other information I had.
Win, now you know this.
Alright. So I would like to cast protection from good and evil on myself.
Okay.
Not gonna attack you.
So, Brunifest creatures disadvantage on attack rolls against the target.
Well, yeah, I guess I don't really need it right now. Yeah, I guess I don't need it right now. Instead, I'll do something else. I guess I'll... Fuck. I'll drop Wither and Bloom. On these guys.
All right. Wither and Bloom. Both 10-foot radius, so definitely can get them within range. Choice must make a Constitution saving throw, taking 2d6 necrotic damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. Necrotic vegetation in the area. In addition, one creature in the area can spend and roll of its unspent hit dice and regain number of hit points equal to the number rolled. Spellcasting ability modifier. Cool. Of your choice in that area. So I guess you can choose someone within that area, like to have them heal themselves a little bit.
Any of you guys hurt?
It's my
Not you.
feelings.
Yula has like
Yula
taken
hurt.
6 damage, but she's fine.
Well, she can heal 6.
Okay. 1d6 plus modifier. Pff, that's. She's back at the full health. Con save. Plus modifier. Plus modifier. The modifier is a +3, so 1 succeed and 1 fails. So 1 takes half and the other one takes full.
Okay. Yeah, that's my turn. And
Okay.
my last, and that was like what, my last spell.
Okay. You guys see a bloom of petals just arranged in this area. As that happens, the petals become dark and decay and thorny, stabbing into its array. As this happens, some petals fall onto Eula, healing her for a little bit. Jemmy.
Out of curiosity, how tall is that unicorn token? Or a totem?
Not tall, it's just a totem.
Alright. Well, I'm gonna lean down to it. Oh, which one of your parents was the narwhal? And, watch this. And I'm gonna go ahead and attack, I guess that, Valkyrie near my spiritual weapon.
Yeah, the one conscious, I assume.
There's an unconscious one.
Yeah.
Oh, the sad faces. I get it.
Yeah,
I get
let's
it.
not kill the unconscious people.
Spiritual weapon can move 60 feet. So it
20
moves like
feet.
5 feet.
Alright, so I'll move my
Yeah,
bag o'
thank you.
cash and, get the conscious one.
Well, for sure, 20 does hit.
Alright, the heck? What am I missing? Oh, there we go. For some reason, it wasn't letting me click the damage thing. There we go. 12 points.
This blade just slams into the still conscious individual in the area. They have been hurt. They've been hurt pretty bad by a breath weapon. So they just go down.
And again to the unicorn. And that's what we call a money shot. And let's see.
That rider only had 7 health left.
All right. Okay, and then the one near Sigvald looks like that's knocked out too.
Yes.
Okay, so who's the worst out of the ones that I can see remaining?
From what you can tell, it's the one next to Eula, to her right.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and cast Toll the Dead in that direction then. And oh shoot, did I actually close my sheet? That was a faux pas.
Free foul.
There we go. I didn't actually close it. I just minimized it in a spot where I couldn't see it against the background. All right. Hold the dead. Yeah, they got to make a DC 15 save.
Dang good spell.
Their wisdom is pretty good, but they are not the captain, so it's +2. That's a 9. They've already been
Alright,
hit
so
beforehand, so they take the 11 instead of the 4.
All right. I don't have any jokes for you for that one.
Slamming into their ear. They were also the one that failed beforehand, and Eula also attacked them. And so did Finder. Although Finder did miss. The first one. Yes, this one did not get hit by Finder. Slamming into them, you can tell that they're barely standing.
All right.
Anything else?
Nope, that's my turn.
Okay, deciding to move, you slam your blade into one, knocking them out, and ring a vibrant, piercing sound in the ear of the other. While they're not dead, they are definitely hurt. One sect of riders has been vanquished, or at the very least unconscious. Just a word. Knocked out. Let's go with knocked out. Captain, on their turn, sloshes through. We'll go here. So at the rim of the watering hole, she's like shorter technically to Finder. Finder does have the high ground. She brings out her blade. A very crimson blade, much like her hair, which I think I screwed up beforehand. It was a joke. What did I call it? Vermilion? I don't know.
Sanguine.
Sanguine.
Crimson,
Yes, but it was...
rose, amber, ruby.
We did
Yes.
that last time.
But I messed up with the color, and you guys made fun of me for it. I just don't remember the coloration. Anyways, the blade is also red. Ruby, if you will. Bringing it out. She draws it straight towards Finn. Finn... plus 8 to attack. I mean, I didn't say that out loud. But it is 15 to hit, which I don't believe hits your current AC.
Nope, currently 17.
Nice.
Yeah.
Stabbing into the air, you're able to move out of the way. As that happens, she then twirls her blade and tries to sink it in with the backhand.
That'll probably hit.
27.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that might hit me.
Okay.
Can I use my steel defender thing after that, or do I have to do it before?
I think you had it protecting you. But I don't
It's a
remember.
You can
reaction.
use it on a reaction.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What is it?
But
Wait.
the defender imposes disadvantage. This is as a reaction. The defender imposes disadvantage on the attack roll of one creature it can see within 5 feet of it, provided the attack roll against the creature is other than the defender.
I mean, I guess you could.
Awesome.
I was gonna use it for me, but I mean, if the DM is allowing me to use it after the roll, is basically what I was asking.
I mean, it makes sense.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. Rolling again, taking the worst. 9 plus 8, that is 17, so that still hits, but
Sorry,
surprisingly.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm checking here. I might have something I don't know.
Okay. Let me know if and when you find it. Okay. The blade sinks in, dealing 2d6 plus 8 points of piercing damage. Ooh, that's a good roll. 17 points of damage as it sinks into your side. It's a good thing the other one didn't hit, because that really hurts. That is her turn, though. Bonus
Excellent.
action, she does something that you do not know what she does. You just see
Big
her
drink
like
of that healthy water. No.
you just see her like clutch her hand towards her chest. The other riders will try to attack Eula, and let's say find her.
Yeah, sure. He doesn't have a steel defender to back him up anymore.
True.
Punish him for being nice.
7 plus modifier, that does not hit Finder, and Eula. 17 plus modifier definitely hits her. Dealing 1d6 plus 5 points of damage, dealing 9 points of damage. Eula is hurt again. Unfortunate but true. They do not have multi-attack, which is good. Finn.
My turn? Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. I am going to swing hard on Miss Boss Lady here.
Mhm. 13 unfortunately does not hit.
Okay. My bonus action attack, I am going to telekinetically push.
Strength save. Plus modifier.
35.
I'm amazingly ineffective this turn.
Yeah, that kind of strength bonus, they couldn't fail.
11. Does not succeed. So, which way do you push him?
I'm going to
Or
push her.
knocked prone?
Whether she's pushed or knocked prone, she doesn't get her attack of opportunity should I move, does she?
No.
Or do I
If
have to
it's
push her
forced
back?
movement, you don't get an attack of opportunity.
Oh, no, not for me, for her.
Either.
Okay, so if she's prone here, I can move out of her way and she doesn't get an attack of opportunity instead of
Yeah.
having to push her back one square. Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, I will go ahead and just knock her prone because she'll have to use 50% of her movement next round.
That's fair. Knocking her
And
prone,
then-
she's just barely above the water.
And then I will slosh and step. Gesturing for her to come get me.
Do you end your turn there?
Yes, that was attack, bonus action, and movement. Yep.
Roll 1d4 for me.
Is healing.
You take 1 point of healing damage.
Oh no, Finn is undead.
That group is also unconscious, so they're out of the running. Eula, seeing that the guy that hit her is at death's door, thanks to Jemmy, will just try to hit. 10 plus modifier. Their AC isn't as good as their boss, but Eula has a +5 to her hit, and that does hit. I'm just letting you know. Smacking into this guy. He only has 2 health. She cannot do less than 2 health. Let's see how much health she takes away. 7 plus modifier, that is 10. Just knocks him out.
Did somebody give Eula the memo to, knock out or?
She's observant.
Okay.
She just sees all of you knock them out and then decides just for murder. Looks towards the other guy. Unfortunately, this one doesn't hit. Well, I tried. Finder, how about you have a go?
Indeed. I think the way that I'm going to do this, though, is move first. Because now that it's mine and Steel Defender's turn, he gets a reaction back, right?
I believe so. It goes on your
Yeah.
turn.
So I'm going to move.
Attack
See
of
if
opportunity from Eula.
yeah. Well, from the diagonal guy.
From diagonal guy.
Yeah,
It's
well,
funnier if Eula does it.
He's gonna take it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Just doesn't hit.
yeah, okay.
Takes out
And
spear,
then-
swings, miss.
Yeah. Haha, you suck. Steel Defender attack. That probably hits.
Does hit. Slamming its fangs into the individual next to it. The Steel Defender just rear in and buckle this man. He's not long for this world.
Valkyrie lady, please. God. And then I'm far enough away, so I will make an attack. Non-lethal. So I'm using a gun, but like it literally has magic bullets because I'm an artificer. We can non-lethal that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you can aim.
All right. Well, it's 12 anyway,
Careful.
so
Doesn't even hit the henchman.
yeah, seems fair.
Aim, but Honk is too out of the way or swirling too much, trying to defend, that you aim and ricochet into the pond.
Yep. And that, once I move, me and Honk will be my turn. Doodly doodly doo.
Okay. Going to the aura, you are, I wouldn't say safe, but safer.
Well, I'm behind a rock. That's gotta count for something.
True. Sigvald
More
gets
relaxing battlefield.
to the edge of the aura. Camillo is already here. Ice Spike.
Oh shit, Eula, I should have said come with me. He already used his attack. That's not what Finder sounds like.
Yeah. Okay. He's gonna use Ice Spike again because it's the only thing I can remember, and I'm aware is a spell. Like a fact. Dexterity save is gonna go for the guy that's barely conscious. Dexterity. 9 plus modifier is not enough to succeed. Gonna take the 4 damage, and he's just at 1 health. I'm gonna tell you outright. Camilla rolls for breath weapon back. 3 doesn't get it. He would not put Camilla in harm's way. He'd probably tell her to get behind Honk. Win.
Yeah, but since when does Camilla listen to Sigvald?
All the time.
Alright, so I'm gonna go up to Finn. I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds.
Thank you.
Alright, so he gets restored 9 points, and everyone, all allies get healed for 4 as well.
Cool. Sigvald's now at 34.
And I will use.
Does that count for me as well?
No, that's it. Everyone of my choosing.
You're not an ally.
Yeah, it's each creature inside. Restores HP to any creature inside or outside the aura. Each creature of your choice in the aura also regains hit points equal to your druid level. Yeah, so creatures of my choice in the aura gets healed for 4, so that would include you. And I will send out my spirit to attack the Valkyrie leader. Is she still prone?
Yeah.
So I have advantage.
I believe.
Ranged attacks
So-
against prone is disadvantage. I don't know about spells.
This is for my spirit animal.
Oh, yeah.
The animal would be a standard melee, so
It's
they have
different.
advantage.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Uh, 24 hits, 21 hits. So that is
Ow.
8 plus 8, 16 plus 9, 25.
25 points.
One second. Okay, so I don't think it's. I don't think it's calculating in the spell level as well, which is 2. So they get an extra 2 damage on them.
Cool, that is 27. The leader does look heavily hurt. They're not dying, but they're definitely bloodied.
And I would like to step back. Thank you. Okay. I
Very
believe
nice to do.
I believe commanding my spirit is a bonus action, right?
Think so?
What a crit though. Great crit.
Yeah, that was damn nice.
Yeah, can't be too critical of that one.
Ah. Yeah, so I
Go
guess
to-
that's it for me.
You belong in prison, sir.
Jimmy.
Why do you think there's a bounty out on me?
Yeah, that's
Alright.
why you're an outcast to the dwarven people. They cannot handle puns.
All right, and of course I made the mistake of forgetting to move my investments elsewhere, so take opportunity to start moving the bag o' cash, and I will go ahead and cast Toll the Dead on the conscious Valkyrie next to Eula.
Okay, the half-conscious Valkyrie.
Oops, ignore that roll, that's the wrong attack.
Okay.
15 save. Wisdom.
There we go. Oh,
Hey.
jeez, that sucks.
Doesn't matter. She's got like 1 health left.
Yeah, I was about to say
Oh.
she only survives if she passes. She has a +3 to wisdom save. Hope for the best.
Well,
Just-
Hit it with
that'll do
bonus.
it. Lives to
A massive
Fight
chime
another
rings
turn.
in the air, but steadfast and strong, this Valkyrie survives.
You know, and I don't think your puppy friend there is going to get along with Cece. And that's my turn.
Okay. Finn gestures towards the captain as she gets hit by the team, aka Wolf. Looking towards you, Finn, she does state, I can see the weird aura that unicorn is creating. But sure, let's go with your whole thing. Moves forwards for an attack, +8 to attack.
spends half her movement to get up, moves forward.
Gets up 5 feet. That's enough.
I know.
Sorry, I should have specified. Gets up from prone. That eats up 15 of her feet. Moves 5 feet.
I don't know. Maybe she crawled over there with the horse. It's a fun image, but I don't think it's what happened.
You know what? That's funnier. She crawls 5 feet, gets up, and expends half her movement.
The Pegasus is like a bird trying to swim.
She takes out. Actually, she removes another blade from. Nope, that's the wrong character. This one. There we go. Nope, doesn't have that feat. That is her technical captain. She takes out the red blade still. Goes in for Finn's side. +8 to attack. 24 does hit Finn. Unfortunately, there's no steel defender in the area, so you take.
Yeah, it's not close enough. Sorry.
Yeah. Unfortunate for you, but fortunate for me as the evil villain in this play.
Cackle loudly now.
You take 2d6 +8 points of damage. As the first slash just barrels through for 15 points of damage. And this is the second time you've been hit with this blade. So Finn, I want you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Its
Unicorn
attack's
provide any sort of
irrevocable.
bonus to that, or
Yeah, do I get a bonus, advantage, disadvantage?
It does give a blessing. I just don't remember which one.
a blessing? What's
Some
that?
type of advantage for something. I just don't remember
well, I
what
think
it is.
is every time wind heals someone, it also heals everyone in the aura. But I don't know if it does anything else.
It does, but I don't think it applies to me exactly.
Do a con save. All right.
You
Straight up.
and your allies gain advantage on all ability checks made to detect creatures in the spirit aura.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. There's 80 detection. All right. Let's see how bad my luck really is.
Air horns.
Pretty good.
What are the odds?
Slapping into you, you feel a weird rendering on your body. However, your own psychic link or your own force link to your body keeps it steadfast. However, she still has a second attack. Surprised, but also not admonished. Amazed that you can withhold such a blow, she goes into swing again, but with admiration. 20 does hit. And unfortunately, this thing only takes effect once you've been hit with it once. So you will have to make another con save, but not before taking 2d6 plus 8 points of damage again. That's only 11, thankfully.
Pretty good roll for us.
Roll for us.
For our team.
Oh, yeah.
2 and a 1 on your damage. Yeah, it's
It's
pretty
not the
good roll for
greatest.
us.
Yeah.
About as good as gets.
Still
Ayy.
holding strong. Finn doesn't feel the very, very dangerous thing. I'm already going to tell you outright. It's a good thing you're succeeding. Other guys are nearby. Other guy is disengaging. Not being
So
attacked by Eula.
opportunity?
Nope, disengaged.
Oh, okay. Like literally, like
Ooh.
capital disengage.
Capital
Got
disengaged.
you.
Moves away. Bonus action, like slaps his side, and you feel him more at calm, at ease. But that is his entire turn. Finn.
Okay. Oh, no guts, no glory. I'm going to,
Before you do anything, she on her bonus action also does the whole slapping on herself thing. Go ahead.
does the whole what thing?
Puts hand on chest thing as she did beforehand.
They're either blessing themselves or stoking themselves up.
Ah, okay. Probably like a cure wounds on self or something. Alright. Well, I might have a magical aura that can help heal me a little bit, but you have a magical sword that can damage me a lot more. I don't see how that's not fair. Just because it's not equal doesn't mean it's not fair. And I will swing away.
I mean, you're also in a ring of healing. A very big ring. 20 does hit. Oh, wait, that's an 11. 11 does not hit.
Alright, I'm going to bonus action swing again.
23 does hit. It'd be
Alright,
weird if it
now
didn't.
I'm going to be stacking on here, so you'll have to give me a second. Alright, Rapier does 12 points of damage. plus.
Active damage with it. A weapon. You can expand one psychic die, rolling it, dealing force damage to the target equal to the number right. So, nice. Plus 5.
An additional 10.
17,
That's good.
17 points of damage.
What do you mean an additional 10?
I don't know.
Plus your intelligence modifier. Oh, sorry. I thought his intelligence modifier would be 5.
Oh no, my intelligence modifier is plus 3.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so yeah, plus 3. So 5 plus 3.
Yeah, 8.
8. 8 and 10 is 18, so 20 points total.
Slamming in with your blade, it sinks into her. She is hurt. She probably can't take another attack like that, but at the exact same time, you've been dealing good damage.
I'm very glad for that because now I'm going to action surge. And save me again. Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. No, ignore that. I was just trying to scroll up on my spells, not cast anything yet. Those are all actions. Oh, that's a bonus action. Okay. I am gonna go ahead and just swing with my rapier on my attack, which
Ooh.
utterly fails.
Blade aims straight towards her. Using her own, she just parries it and pushes you back thematically.
Okay.
Well, the first one was pretty good.
Yeah, the first one was pretty good. I was trying to follow it up with a finisher, but my bonus action is going to be healing light
Nice.
on myself. For a whopping 3 points.
Better than 0.
That could be the difference between life and death.
Oh,
True.
do I get a D4 at the end of my turn for being in the water?
Have you ended your turn?
I'm not moving, so yeah.
Roll for me
As long as I
1d4.
stay here. Okay, yeah. As long as I stay here, she will, and she won't go down to my teammates.
You take 2 points of health damage. You'll
The way you
notices-
say that, actually, health damage makes it sound like he got hurt.
I
That's
don't
okay.
know.
I know what he's talking about.
Maybe. I am keeping a tally. Tally of
Healing
what?
water went the wrong way.
Who knows? Eula, seeing
You said
that you're...
healing damage.
Yeah. Soap's played enough of my games that he may or may not pick things up. Finn and the leader are having a one-on-one. Eula respects that. Heads over towards the other guy. Goes in for a strike. Plus 5. Misses completely. Misses still with the 13. Well, I tried. Find her.
Ha ha! Alright, doodly do. Fine. I will cast Fairy Fire. And it's 20 foot, I can get, both of them.
Yeah.
Alright.
Doodly do. And then...
Isn't it like a dex save or something?
Yeah, it is, isn't it? They don't just
Both
do
failed.
it.
Both failed.
Alright, cool.
I believe attacks on them now have advantage.
Yep. Let's see here.
Oh, I guess I should roll for Eula too.
It's supposed to be a dex throw.
Succeeds.
Yeah, it does say any creature. Okay. Yep. So that's basically it, and then I'm just gonna move and have. Actually, screw it. Anyway, and my bonus action is honk attacks. Honk honk. Probably not.
No. Honks in, stabs to the side. Eula looks towards Honk. Oh, I suppose it's not a one-on-one. Good to know.
Wait, was this supposed to be one-on-one?
That's what I was doing.
I
I was
assumed.
going to use my action to, let you know. It's not my turn yet, though.
Is Eula was only thinking that because you like drew her towards you. Finder,
Yeah,
you do that.
that
Honk
was-
bites. So, anything else, Finder?
No, that's me.
Okay. Sigvald gets closer. He's not so much of a fighter guy that respects boundaries in a one-on-one bout, so he will just straight up ice spike.
Nobody knows that.
11 plus modifier does succeed. Well, to be
They
fair,
have advantage on rolls to attack, and you chose to do a dex save. The fool. Sigvald, you idiot. No.
he doesn't have a sword.
Well, he's not all there.
Attack spells get advantage. Rolls to attack with spells.
I think his stuff is on like connected to the
Rolls
beyond.
Yeah. Well, I'm making fun of him, not you.
Yeah. Well, formally from the beyond because there is no connection.
Yeah.
Anyways,
The
Dragon will
Beyond.
also get closer.
Which shall
breath-
not be named.
Doesn't get his breath weapon back yet. It's been a couple of turns. Moves over. She's gonna take a bite. Bite at a crime. 7 does not hit. And then takes the potential opportunity attack. The commander does not. Sorry, the lieutenant does not. Sorry, the leader does not win.
Come over and heal.
Running over to Finn. If you haven't been healing, he'd probably be down.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Hey, this is a team-on-team fight, so I don't care if you wanted a 1v1. Do it afterwards.
Yeah, no, I appreciate what you're doing. I was going to...
Alright, so you get healed for 6, and then everybody gets healed for 4 who is in the aura.
Which is basically just Sigvald. He's now at full health again.
And Pup will attack the leader with advantage twice.
hmm
Well, we'll see if the first hit knocks her down.
Thanks to the Fairy Fire, she's been hit. The Maul goes in for a strike, but 13 does not pierce into the armor. 23 for sure does, though.
So that's 7
And-
damage.
Yeah, plus 2 more. Sinking in. She does look heavily hurt, but not exactly dead just yet.
I am going to step back.
All right. As the wolf steps back, Jemmy, on your go, you pass perceptions of 15 or above, can see that there's a weird red aura around her. And there's a slight blue one around the guy next to Eula.
Actually, I get to choose the colors. No, it's fine.
Oh, Win, do you see those auras there?
Do I?
Passive of 15, and I think Jemmy just pointed it out, so yeah, you now notice it.
Oh, yeah.
Wait,
Well,
or is it armed fairy fire?
as I draw attention to that, I move my spiritual weapon forward, and I'm gonna go ahead and attack the that Valkyrie next to Eula.
It's different from the Fairy Fire Finder. I'm going to say your Fairy Fire currently is green and purple.
Makes sense. Okay, cool.
All right, I think that spiritual weapon hit
26 unfortunately does hit.
for 8 points.
He had a 1 health beforehand. He did something, and he does not have enough health to survive that. So the bag of money just slaps him in the head real good, causing him to go unconscious.
All right. And now I'm gonna go ahead and cast Toll the Dead at the leader person.
Mhm.
Toll the Dead. There it is.
Wisdom save. Modifier of number. Plus modifier does not succeed.
All right, 7 points.
Yep, she's already been taking damage.
All right.
You can tell she cannot take another hit. She's
Well,
not
the
at
leader's still
one,
up.
but she cannot take another hit.
Oh, the leader's still up, but the other one's underwater on their investment. And I'm done with my turn.
Yeah. As you end your turn and as she begins her own, the red aura around her, different than the purple and green of the fairy fire, surrounding her, is more and more visible. Even with non-passive 15s now, a passive of 10 can see it. As you say that her teammate is more or less underwater, she does turn around, looks towards all of you, and she's an honorable warrior. Brings down her blade into the dirt, aka the pond, and ends it. Wasn't a fight to the death. It was to see if you guys could succeed. With only herself, she's not stupid.
Alright, let's drag all of these Valkyries into the healing field to screw over the red sashes. Let's go.
Yes, actually, I was going to
Well,
say that.
and,
Let's.
I'll leave them in the pond, but still within the healing aura.
People begin
So
to.
so they can heal up.
Your team rushes to get the Valkyries in.
Reset.
Keeping their heads afloat so they're not drowning.
And I'll blow my last 2 spell slots on this.
I'm assuming you invite the captain in. Leader.
Well, yeah, of course. I'll target her with my main healing. If you don't mind.
Of course. You've succeeded in the bout. There's no reason not to be friendly now.
I have 1d6 of my healing light. Whoever needs it.
Just put it on the captain.
Nobody on our team. We slapped them.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is all I've got left, and I'm not using it on myself. So 5.
If there were more captains, you guys would have been in trouble. There was just one captain and a bunch of other guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so altogether the captain gets 22 health back just from my healing, my cure wounds, and then everybody in the aura, friends and Valkyries alike, gain 8.
Nice.
So everybody's back up.
Everyone begins to heal a good amount. People that are unconscious. As mentioned beforehand, fun fact, even if you become stable, you don't necessarily wake up. However, I always let PCs wake up because it's a lot more fun that way. But NPCs don't necessarily wake up. But because of everything you guys have done, and because you literally have an aura of vitality up, for sure they
Double
wake up.
double healing spells, healing water, healing aura.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, have we been in the healing water long enough to give me another 5 points?
Sure.
Yeah, could I use thaumaturgy to pull off some sort of sulfurous smell to simulate smelling salts?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that's all the energy I have left.
Oh, you've done so much.
It's if we didn't fight those guys beforehand, I would be able to heal everybody up.
That is quite all right. You've done more than enough, more than I can ask for, truly.
Actually, who's still down?
No one technically. You guys healed them enough that they're conscious again.
No, but I mean, like, what are they lacking in terms of hit points? Because I mean, I've got healing.
The riders max HP is 20. And they healed 8.
They're all bloodied except for the commander.
The commander, I'm not telling you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, fair enough. But I guess if we all stay in the aura, I can go ahead and throw. How many? So you said all of them except, well, all of them are bloody, right?
I'm not sure. Is the aura when any healing happens, or is it when Win heals?
Let me double check just in case. Like, I think it states when you
Yeah.
cast a spell that takes up a spell slot. There, so everyone can read it. It's all the way at the bottom.
Yeah, if you cast a spell.
Makes sense. It'd be a lot more broken if it's when any.
All right.
Already
Well,
broken enough.
all right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and pop a prayer of healing here. So that's going to see something. Yeah. So I'll spend 10 minutes doing that, and that should get everybody 2d8 plus spellcasting ability modifier. So
Nice.
Well,
Go ahead.
if they're chilling in the pond for 10 minutes, do they not just heal up?
I will tell you that out of combat, the pawn takes forever to heal up.
All right.
All right. So prayer o healing at level 2. So everybody should get 10 points back.
Not forever. It does like a standard health potion every hour.
Okay.
Which is pretty good.
These guys gonna wait an hour.
Probably not.
What's our reward from them though? Like we get to follow them. It's like in our best interest that they don't die, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
How are
Right.
the others? After that 10 points, how are the others looking?
They're not dead. Healing them for that amount, they are stable. They can definitely back up their captain. The captain is the most hurt, but they are not a pushover.
Actually, I do have one last thing I think I might be willing to do. I very quietly try and slip to the captain without anybody south of my position noticing.
Yeah.
I hand her a jar.
All right, you're trying to do this stealthily, so go ahead and roll for me stealth. As this is all going on, the other team is discussing plans with themselves. You don't know what it is because you're like heavily involved in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
You can't go over and be like, hey guys, what's up? They'll be like, fuck you.
yeah, they might be talking amongst themselves, not looking or paying attention to me specifically. Oh, well, not bad.
Pretty good. I don't think anyone notices.
All right.
I don't know why you
Until the
needed
Valkyrie
stealth.
woman goes subterfuge. No.
Well, because I'm going to let the captain decide how best to use it.
As an action, dose of your ointment can be slowed or applied to skin. The creature that receives 2d8 plus 2 hit points increases poison and is cured of all disease. Of
Very
any disease. That's pretty good. Um,
If she needs it for herself, or if she wants to put it on her people, I'm just giving her an option.
yeah, her people are almost at max health. Thanks to Jemmy and Win.
I do tell her I have 2 healing potions if you need.
That's fine. You've done more than enough, and you may need them in the journey ahead. She looks towards Finn and she does state, "It is appreciated, but I don't believe I have need of this for now. I will simply make do."
Are you
Of
sure
course.
those guys seem a little tough?
It will be all right. A Valkyrie's cry is one of war, and war is not always so kind. Well, war and death, but
good.
the death part wasn't necessarily needed in that sentence.
I mean, war is death. I'm over explaining.
Well,
I do thank you.
good luck in your next bout.
Yes,
Be cheering for you.
thank you.
Fezos, they kind of kicked our butts, so.
Well, technically, it was kind of like a even fight throughout.
Yeah.
It's true, I chickened out.
You guys kept stabilizing, which is pretty even.
Yeah, it's like we had the sustain, they didn't, and we had what, 2 or 3 of them at death's door.
Never the captain, and in fact, you haven't seen the captain go full out, but for sure, like 2 or
Oh,
3 of them.
No, these
Uh,
guys, we kicked their butts. I'm talking about the red sashes. They almost wrecked us.
Red scorpions.
Yeah.
Scorpions.
Well,
Scorpions.
that's what I was
Yeah.
talking about. We actually had like 2 or 3 of them, like almost down.
Like Rose
we-
was pretty hurt. This guy whose name you never got, pretty hurt. Well, formerly. Tom, you guys knew his whole spiel, so you could easily potentially take him down. Lenton was an issue, but you know, with enough hits, he was just gonna go down. Dirk is the only one you never saw go full out.
All right. Well, I guess the situation. I misread the situation.
No,
Yeah, it's like they had some like major hits early. That's the thing.
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah, they really
used,
want me.
It's like they used a
Couple
lot
of
of
crits.
their they used a lot of their bigger attacks early on to whittle us down. But the thing is, we had to sustain and they didn't.
that being said, I won't tell you if you would have succeeded or not. But you guys did
Mhm.
good.
I think we would have.
And we haven't gotten a long rest, and neither have they. So their one caster, Rose, only has 1 spell left.
1 spell of 3rd level.
They would have got wrecked if we didn't heal them afterwards.
It's like they're in the same boat. It's like their abilities and spells. You know, not all of them come back on a short rest.
Let's watch.
So I guess we'll go off to the side. I'm gonna be on the cliff over here.
Yeah.
Nice view of battlefields.
After a good healing, the leader and the rest of the individuals bowed. Also join you in Cliff. Still trying to talk you into joining their team.
Do you guys have dental? Is the thing.
Yes, dental and family plans. If you get married, have children, whether through adoption or other.
Stop poaching.
Ooh,
Eh,
how's
my
the
recruits.
healthcare?
Eh.
How is the healthcare? Because you know it's dangerous working on the field. You know.
Correct. The healthcare itself is competitive, but it is within. It's good, but we all live in a constant threat environment, so it can only be so well in such a state.
I should be more interested in the transportation since they seem to have fine company mounts.
Not our department. Eula's from Section 5. She is not the Valkyries.
Yeah. That's who
Oh,
I
they're
meant.
she's talking to Eula. I thought that was to the Valkyries. Never mind.
No,
It seems
she's trying to
surreal enough to be
poach
the
me.
case.
No, she's trying to poach me again.
Oh,
You realize if you were to go to her with this, and they would get credit for this mission, and we'd probably all out of a job anyway.
as,
Listen to this vixen.
as you guys decide on these things, Dirk and the leader of this group do talk with one another. He does look towards her, politely bows. She bows in turn, and she does state, "Now then, is your team prepared?" We are. However, my team is heavily injured and hurt, and so is your own. As two leaders, I do suggest we bout one-on-one in this endeavor. That is... What did Finder say?
Boo. I know this is because you don't want to, like, there's no way you're going to do, like, simulated combat between all these characters, but still, I think it would be funny if you booed.
In the background, the popcorn crowd or whatever the actual term is, boos. Dirk just shrugs. What say you? That is a honorable thing to do. Not bringing in your men to do things you're not willing to do yourself. If you're sure you're prepared, I am. Are
He's
you?
a mind reader.
Are you the one that was speaking to my head earlier? No.
And a liar.
Subterfuge, but either way is also fair. He states to that. We all must do what we must at our own tasks. I do not condone it, but it is something that needs to be done. Quite right. Well, anyways, are you sure you're prepared? I am prepared as one would be in combat. And from what I have been overhearing, your team has also been injured and hurt. Are you prepared for this bout? One can only be as prepared as one is on the battlefield. Very well then. She tells her team not to interfere, and Dirk does the same. Whenever you're ready. He
Now,
Go
wait a
ahead.
second. No, she.
Mm.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna shout out. If you want to be fair, how about we start the battle when you hear the wolf cry, and I pet my wolf spirit.
Now,
Dirk nods. Go ahead.
well, let's get ready to rumble.
Finn, go.
to be fair, he told his men over there to not interfere, and she told her men over there not to interfere, right? Nobody said anything to us, right?
No one said anything to you, but it's implied.
All right.
It's
I'm having a moral dilemma. I might
This
open
is a-
psychic channels in the middle of the fight.
This is an honorable fight. They want it this way, so do not interfere. Be a good boy.
Okay. That was a psychic conversation between me and Win.
Okay.
All right, so
Because
after
I
a
do
little
still have
while-
psychic. I do have my psychic field of protection. I don't even have to flinch, and I can.
Be cool,
Yeah.
man. Be cool.
Finn,
Be cool.
got it, Finn. Win, go.
Thank you. All right. After a little while, as Win sees them both tense before the fight, she'll give the signal to her wolf cub to let out the howl to begin the fight.
As the howl rises into the air, Dirk unsheaths the blade you never saw, just were warned about. A black ebony blade is drawn forth, and she her own crimson. Initiative is rolled. Da, 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 da. And he just barely beats her with the 7. Dirk already
So for
prepared.
us, these are anonymous rolls, so we're like, what? What's happening?
As they draw out their blades, Dirk rushes in immediately. Using a parrying shot, goes in for a strike, not at her, but her blade itself. With this type of thing, he does have a bonus to it. 18 plus modifier does hit, striking at the blade and carving it into the air, causing it to fly 30 feet away. In a random direction, 1d8. Into this direction.
Dang, 30 feet.
Dirk
If only
using
she
his
didn't have a
second
blanket.
bonus. Not using horses. Dirk then slashes in for his second shot. 3 plus modifier does not hit. Uses his bonus action feat to strike again. 16 plus modifier does hit. Strikes into her core, and the blade itself pierces in. You hear a loud cry. It is guttural, but she is alive. Using her own movement, she tries to swing in. She does not carry a lot of weapons. She only has that sword and that spear, which is why I was confused why she didn't have the dagger, because that is the other guy. Not that you know who the other guy is. Using her spear, she tries to lunge into Dirk, but he is too mobile to move. Tries to swing in again with her spear. Plus modifier 8, that does hit. Pierces into his side and rears into him. He's not dead, and in fact, he hasn't been hurt that badly, which is unfortunate for her. Striking in, he in turn stabs into her side and pierces in once more. Using his secondary attack, not to strike again, but this time he does something, and the blade itself, the hilt, lights up with a weird green glow. As it happens, the green glow then engulfs the rest of the blade and seeps into her flesh and bone. Her veins begin to pop out, and it does not look good for her. As a bonus action, he'll take a defensive stance. 13 plus modifier for her. She stabs into him and draws even more blood. He's not dead. He's not dying. It is not looking good. She's going to take a chance and move away to grab onto her blade, the better of the two weapons. Since he's being honorable, he's not going to swing, but it does take her the rest of her turn to get there. Using her makeshift weapon, she's going to throw the spear so she doesn't lose an attack. 9 plus modifier, unfortunately, does not hit. And then Dirk takes his own turn. Rushing over towards her, she's already been hurt, unfortunately. Without her team backup, there's only one direction he can go. 7 plus modifier doesn't hit with the first strike. Goes in for the second one. 13 plus modifier does hit. And he strikes into her again. The flame of the blade, still green, strikes through and hits hard. Using his bonus action effect, will just go in for one last charge. And unfortunately, the last hit is a natural 20. The blade sinks in heavily, but before it can do its full damage, he removes it from her own body, kicks her to the side, and then puts in a health potion out of his satchel and hands it over towards her. Quickly drink this before you die. She's barely able to move, but she is alive. She quickly drinks it, and she is very shocked it ended so fast.
Well, I mean, you did roll cracked for him.
That's not on me. That's on this VTT.
This sucks. I was hoping he would lose.
Yeah. Boo.
I was hoping to help her out a little, but yeah, my moral dilemma there.
And how many bonus actions did that fucker have?
He only used 2. He has certain skills.
He has a certain set of skills.
Yeah, like nothing heavily broken, but he can use a bonus action to attack again.
It's good feat.
Yeah, I don't know. Seems a little goofy. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think that last attack, you know. I don't think that last attack was valid.
The natural 20?
Yeah.
Yes. The
No.
natural.
Did the attack hit below the belt?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were counting. There seemed to be one extra one in there. Yeah.
Sinking in and giving her a remedy to whatever was happening, she does draw in a good breath. All right, good. Got it in before the... Well, you're fine. Not bad yourself. Right, well, didn't want to actually kill you. No real need for that. Looks up at the people watching, aka your group. You're free to come down now.
Ooh.
Fight's
Looking over
over.
at Tom.
Oh, Tom's
What's
gone.
Tom doing?
Tom's gone.
As you look around, you finally see him like next to Finn and Finder.
Oh.
He's currently like eating some rations, watching the entire thing.
Mm-hmm. All righty then.
Wretched feline.
I think he lost. Or did he win? I don't remember which one. Looks towards his boss. Boss, which one's the good one for us? This current outcome. Which means we won. Looks towards Finn and Finder, sticks out his tongue and like gives him the rest of his rations, which I'm going to just say it's popcorn. And then like begins to walk away.
You also won, you little shit.
Just walks away.
Next time we just kill him.
But
Oh, don't be that way.
does state, do you need a health potion or something? I'll be fine. I just need to take a good bit of rest. Right. Well, you are traveling, and in this state would not be the most beneficial to you, I imagine. I do have my pride. Fair enough. Would you accept a health potion from them? They're technically not your opponent. I think that's curtailing the pride, but yes, technically. He like hands over a health potion to Win. You can offer this to them.
Alright, thanks, sir. Here you go. Would you accept this peace offering?
Oh, sure, we weren't fighting.
I hand her a second one.
Of your own or of just Stark's?
Yeah, of my own.
Okay. I'm assuming it's standard?
Yeah.
Okay, that's 2d4 plus 2. That is 7. Dirk's, that is 4d4 plus 4. That is 10. She's doing good. It'll still take her a short rest to be fully recovered. She doesn't have magic, so fully recovered. Marshals, everyone.
Curiosity, did the initial battle end up resulting in any Pegasus shedding?
The horses were like to the side. I'm gonna say they're riding them now.
Oh.
Let's see if any of them started to like, what's it called? when animals begin to like preen themselves. I think birds are the ones that do that.
We'll just go with grooming.
Groom themselves. 13. 13's good enough. Like one or two of them begin to like move around since the horses were tied up. So I'm sure they were like shaky. If you go to collect, there's a total of 6 feathers that fell while you guys were fighting.
All right, I'll collect those.
Okay. And they bring back their Pegasi, so they're now large again. The captain does thank you for the potions win, and Dirk does thank you as well for helping out. Thank you. Honestly, if you weren't going to heal them, I was going to do it myself. No real good thing beating up someone that's already weaker than you. As long as it's not part of the job.
Oh yeah, it's no problem. If you haven't noticed, I like to help.
Yes, again, if you're ever in need of employment.
I'll keep that in mind. Wow, I can't believe I have so many offers.
Section 5, just saying. Dental.
Just remember how they tried to throw us under the bus
When?
or the wagon.
When?
Well, and they tried to set up a really toxic deal.
Oh, that's Dirk. Eula's is more of a contract that needs to be fulfilled.
No, I'm talking about Section 5. I mean, that was the one where we were going to be severely compromised, and it's just like, you're like, oh, we're trying to do this dangerous thing. It's got a shrouded in mystery that nobody else can, and
Well, the thing is, it's like, of course that they would offer. Of course, their starting offer would be more beneficial to them than us. Ours was our original thing was going to be more beneficial to us than them. But then, as negotiations work, we whittle it down so both parties benefit.
yeah, but I'm referring more to the whole that they wanted to implement penalties for things that would have potentially legitimately been out of our control. Oh, it turns out that these things were being shed by some planet-sized bird dragon. Oh, well, you didn't bring it back. You guys screwed up. You should have done it.
Well, that's how negotiation works, and in the end, we found a great middle ground.
Well, the mercenaries gave us a better deal. At least they offered us something of value.
Well, win things, in the end, we got a win-win. So she, is fine with them.
Like, Jimmy, I see what you're saying, but at the exact same time, this is your job, but it's not theirs. You're negotiating with them to help you. At the exact same time, for sure, it was a raw deal, so it had to be fine-tuned.
Yeah, well, as it is, I'm only bringing it up to prevent wind from jumping ship.
Yeah. Your team also has dental. Just no life insurance.
What a fine dental planet is. Go ahead and smile broadly. Ching! Little gleaming sparkle.
Yeah, as the Valkyrie captain nods to see all these job offers, she may or may not have a job offer for you. Who's to say? She doesn't, but she could have. Looking towards your team, she does state, Miss Wynn and the rest of this group, you have been allotted space to travel with and alongside us. We will keep you in tow as we move forwards. And looks towards Dirk and his team. And your lot has proven themselves strong enough and honorable enough to wield a Pegasus in turn, or at the very least, do you have, I take it your rank is captain, perhaps? A lieutenant, I suppose. Oh, same as me. Sure. I actually don't know your whole hierarchy state. Well, I am the lieutenant of this group. I'm going to meet my captain, forwards. These 6 members that I have here are the newest recruits in our organization. They have been slightly trained to help out, and this is their first flight. I see.
Embarrassing.
Not necessarily. She looks towards you, Finder, and the rest of the group. Their first flight is to see how stable, how competent they are. The fight in itself was not expected, but one thing is for sure in our line of work. It is a likely apparent thing. They should not be hesitant to fight if need be.
One raises their hand. Question.
Yes.
So every time you guys have new recruits and have your first flight, is it this flight?
Not sure what you mean by that. It is an annual process. Once the new...
Because there's an event in our city called the Featherfall event, and I was wondering if your recruit's first flight annually coincides with the Featherfall event. R&D department, and I like to do my own research, so sorry for the questions.
That's quite all right. I can't say for certain, but if it's around this time of year, in this material plane, perhaps?
Wynn takes out a notebook and starts writing in it.
Yeah. You take out your notebook, begin to jot things down. And I'm assuming it's the same notebook you have been, bringing up on and off again.
Yep.
She does state, nevertheless, though, Mr. Dirk, you have, at the very least, you have been granted the honor of possessing one of our steeds. And if you do care to indulge me, would you be willing to perhaps join our ranks? Not that it isn't an honor or something that I haven't thought of. I haven't at all. How much does it pay? It is a tradition, and it will... I'm good. Wasn't really finished. I have a lot of debts to pay, and I can't exactly leave my family to pay them for me. But perhaps when they are completed, I'll let you know.
Matter of honor.
Very well. At least you're a man of your word. Kinda have to be. To a certain extent. When I need to be. Not sure what you mean by that, but Mr. Finder did state that you were a liar and a mind reader, so don't really know what to say to this. Not necessarily a liar, unless I need to be. Yes, on the mind reading thing. No, I didn't talk in your head. Don't know where that's coming from. But sure. Anyways, not that I don't want to move this along, but my steed... Oh, yes, of course. She takes out from her satchel a whistle with, 2 little wings on it. It's very cute.
Tweet, tweet, tweet.
As she tweets, a storm cloud begins to form higher than the poison cloud around you guys. So you don't see it, but you do hear it. And as it forms, something begins to be drawn towards you guys. And like a cute young Pegasus makes its way downwards and straight towards Dirk. This is the young... not the youngest, but I don't know the name of a young horse. The youngest steed.
Foal.
It, isn't it? Yeah. Isn't it like a foal? A foal?
That's what I
Foal,
was.
and then there's colts, which are a little older
Oh,
than that.
okay.
You
I'm
know,
gonna
a
go-
horse will mate with anything, it seems.
I'm gonna go with the colt. This is our youngest colt, able to be ridden without potential risk factor, and the first true heart to ride it, it will bond with. Got it. Looks towards the horse like you can tell that Dirk is well trained with people to a certain extent and animals. He brushes his hand underneath the colt to not spook it. Meets it eye to eye and like draws it in towards the rest of his group, and he does state, I see that many of your steeds do have reins, but some do not. Would it be all right if I rein them so they can be pulled? That'll be all right. He like looks towards his team, and they weren't exactly sure what kind of animal they were gonna get, so they take a while to make one for the appropriate size of the horse. When you move over towards the captain.
Oh, I was just stepping a little closer to get a better look.
At the captain or the situation?
The situation.
He seems to be like getting the horse prepared to like move or get ready to head out. From what it looks like, he's not going to ride the horse. At least not immediately. He's going to draw it towards, the city, towards the end game / pay. He does look towards all of you while like his team is like getting the straps all situated. Like people are handing the stuff to Rose, and she's going, "All right, I got it. This size should be appropriate. This length." And while this is all going on, Dirk looks towards your team. Right. Deal's a deal. And I already know where you guys work. If you want, one of you guys can join me while we head back to the city. Or I can deliver your pay at your workplace.
Could send Sigvald since he's not here.
He could be here.
We're going to continue on, though, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going to continue on. Yeah.
It's a group.
We could
do
have-
that.
If you
Perhaps we could have Eula be our representative for this.
So long as you deliver the water to my team, should be fine. If you don't trust me with your teammates, perhaps I can just give you or offer you the money I have currently in my possession.
Well, trust you.
Fine with
We-
waiting.
You should come and collect in our own time.
Very well. You already know where I hire workers. He nods. Are you guys sending Eula with him?
Does Eula want to go?
Yeah, it's up to Eula if she wants to go or see what's at the end of the rainbow with us.
I would like to accompany you all. No offense, I would only go if you all seemed like you really didn't trust them, but you all seem fine with it, so.
Oh, Dirk, I won't forget about the flowers.
He nods.
Finn kind of pipes up after being kind of quiet, and he asks the captain, so you figure out a way to get through the poison fields?
Oh, we already had a way. We just didn't have a way of...
Getting back out.
No, what's the appropriate term?
Oh, that's what was
If
said
you
last time,
raced
yes.
into the fog, having a way of hunting you down through the fog.
And Chase would have been a bit tricky, he's saying.
I was
Yes.
just making sure if he's got a way to get through the fog without poisoning him or his men, they're good. Just trying to be a good person.
Oh yes, it's highly considerate of you, Mr. Finn. I do have a spell scroll of
Yes,
teleportation. It can exceed up to a max of 8 individuals. The issue was hunting you down while through the forest. We only had enough of the concoction for the travel inwards, not the travel out. And since we didn't exactly know where we were going, we had that just in case.
Run the spell. No.
He reins the horse in carefully and calmly. He feeds it an apple. Brings out a spell scroll and gives it to Rose. On it, you can see the arcane words for teleportation. If you speak Draconic, if you don't, fancy magic words. Rose does state, everything seems prepared. I can cast it when everything is ready. Holding onto the reins, Dirk does look towards your team. Right then, send the payment within 2 days to your team. Should I deliver it to someone specifically or just say Section 9?
What's our
Hold on a sec. I've got a.
again?
I think I have an alternative for that. Hold on a second. You could drop it off with Roman.
He looks through his files and he he's unfortunately good at his job. Looks through his files and he does state, Oh, Ramon, yes.
No, not Ramon. Roman.
Roman.
I think he's talking about one of his servant slaves.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
we,
Go ahead. What?
who was our boss name again?
Ramon. Which is why I was confused.
Yeah.
Why don't they just hand it to Ramon? It seems like a better
Because it might look a little bit bad if
Yeah,
criminal
it might-
organization is directly paying a floundering government agency.
Yeah, it would reflect poorly on us. It's kind of like taking bribes, but having your bribes sent to your boss.
I mean,
Taking bribes.
if you have a courier who is guaranteed clean and on loan to other government agencies, that would be fine. But
I can send it to this Roman, as Mr. Jemmy has stated, and I can have him direct it to your boss. That way it's not directly through us.
in that case, what is the exact amount so we all know
Oh,
that Roman isn't skimming?
in total, I can, based off of everything we're being offered, and I did stated to pay you a sum, it'd be a total of 1,000 gold.
Nice round number.
I think
Easy
so.
enough to remember. Once we get back, 1,000 gold to split.
But you know what? Since there's the lot of 5 of you, minus the familiars and animals, Camilla says something in Draconic that this state.
Yeah.
I take offense to that. Sigvald is not an animal. And Miss Yola, not part of this team.
Camilla's like, Sigvald deserves a share. That's rude, okay? I know I get my share, but
Let's say 1,200. So it's split evenly.
you're an easy man to work with.
I think so. Now then, do take care, and hopefully you find your way back to the city. Otherwise, your boss and Roman might just have a lot of money to split between themselves.
Bye, guys. And Dirk, don't worry, I won't forget the flowers.
Thank you. Rose begins to cast a spell, and a
Don't bleed the helpless Pegasus to death for your experiments. Okay, bye.
That's not at all what this job is. In fact, and then he teleports away.
Give you the name. It's harder to kill things with a name.
Just remember to save your last name for a rainy day.
The team does venture away, and your team, I'm just going to shrink her down and move this rock, does get drawn in. Each rider does like gesture for you to ride with them. The cap / lieutenant, now that you know her actual rank, does state, the whistle can only be used once a day, so we will need to share rides.
How fast do your steeds fly?
Horny but no.
So I don't mind riding with you.
Excellent. The steeds move at a
Strong.
galloping 80 feet per round.
It's stuck in my belly to make me lighter.
Shouldn't be an issue. They can carry a good amount of weight upon their back. Now, we shouldn't over encumber them to a good extent, but should be fine with 2 humanoids in our gear.
Eye-dying.
At
Honk.
least
Blech.
one of you is a polymorphed elephant.
No, but my quotes-unquote familiar is made of metal.
You say that, and she does state, well, how many
It's
of
everything about them is metal.
how many Valkyrie scouts and the lieutenant are there? I think there's like 7.
Total.
Yeah, for the purposes of this, I'm going to say Camilla allows Sigvold to be carried by her talons. Or ridden, depending on what Sigvold says next week. But I think it's funnier that way.
I mean, worst case scenario, it does just take me an hour to summon them again. So it's
Yeah.
more important to bring Camilla.
One second. I need to bring them into the... You guys are about this big. You guys are more or less gestured towards the top of the mounds, and she does state, now then, this is going to be the extent of 2 days of travel. If you aren't able to stay conscious, I do suggest you take a long rest now. Otherwise, we will be venturing forth in the next 6 hours.
I spend that next 6 hours fabricating climbing gear so that we can sleep in the saddles.
Yeah. You guys aren't taking the trial of her scouts. You guys can totally... I would say cheat, but that's technically just using the instruments. Finder, you take the 6 hours. When you were saying?
Oh no, I was gonna say, I don't think I'll need it. I'll just, if you don't mind, I'll just hold on to you. I just need to meditate for a few hours, and I should be good.
Okay.
Just in case Finder's plan doesn't work, I am promptly going to go ahead and take a nap for the next 6 hours.
Some
Say
people
that
pass
again, I
out.
didn't catch it.
This is the thanks I get. This is the thanks I get. No.
Well, I didn't say that out loud. So.
I just went to bed.
People tired from a fight sleep.
That's fair. So what do you think with that Tinker's tools?
All that overhealing I took was so fatiguing.
That's for sure. Well, you also use spells here and there.
Yeah.
Finder, that would for sure be Tinker's Tools. Go ahead and roll. 14.
I've seen worse rolls.
I've seen definitely worse rolls. You do make subtle adjustments that can loop into your adventuring clothing or like wrap around your body. So if you do begin to turn too heavily or too hefty, it would pull on your body to the extent of helping you and adjusting you. It wouldn't necessarily keep you from falling, but it would definitely help out. So if you yourself mess up, it will help out in the short term.
That's all I accomplished in 6 full hours. Man, I'm bad at my job.
You made like seven
Enough for everyone?
enough
Alright.
for everyone.
Okay.
If you want, I'm gonna say you can fully make things that like latch onto you and the Pegasus. No real issue of being bucked out, but you could only make 3 of those.
Question: how long is he taking for this?
6 hours.
6 hours? Oh shit! I'll just take my long rest now.
Yeah.
I can meditate for like.
They did say they're like they rest here to literally rest.
Yeah, we're taking a long rest.
Whatever,
Yes.
so nobody wants it, I guess. That's what I'm hearing, so maybe I'll make 3 of the good ones. Make 1 for me, for sure. I'll make
they just
1
want their
good
spells.
one. Yeah, they want their spells. How about I make 1 good one for me and I make as many other ones as I can? A third less, so that's what, like 4?
Yeah. Let's say you make 4 of the adjust helpful ones and the can't miss ones for yourself.
Yes. Sorry, I couldn't make enough. I've been up all night so you were sleeping, so I tried to help everyone out.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say Sigvald and Eula are part of this number. So who doesn't get something?
Oh, that
I
is
won't
up to
take one.
everyone but me.
I definitely will not take one.
I don't need one. I already rested. I should be good.
It's like snuggle honking. This is why I only made 1 good one. They're all unappreciative. Yeah.
Eula will take one and Sigvald will take one just in case.
Plus,
If there's a leftover one, I'll take it.
Sorry,
Plus,
Wingo.
I think to really get the full experience of this, I want to do it how like they do it, you know?
Don't they have like months of training?
True. Still, it would be interesting to see how long I can last.
And I'll be riding with you.
Riding horses and stuff like that.
I was gonna say that's what she said. So, riding horses and stuff.
And I'll be riding with you. We can keep each other safe.
What?
The rider does state. I mean, it'd be cramped, but
per horse.
maybe
No.
it'd be more difficult for both of you in the long run. But sure.
Oh, I thought I was riding with the lieutenant.
No, it's like the guy that Finn was supposed to be riding with. Is like, sure.
He
The
was
lieutenant.
Like, what do I? He was like, do I smell?
The lieutenant does state, Finn, if you'd like to ride with both of us, I suppose you could.
I
It-
thought that's what happened anyway because you said there weren't enough horses or Pegasuses, so two of us would have to double up. And
No, for like
you said you didn't
Sigvald.
mind riding with me.
Sigvald was the issue. So I'm just saying
Okay.
Camilla is either letting
In that
him
case,
ride her or Talon on back carrying him.
Okay, in that case, I've misunderstood.
Okay. No. It would have enough for you guys to be carried.
It's just familiars that are the issue.
Yeah.
No worries.
I'm really gonna try and pick one of the pick side.
Roll animal handling. Disadvantage, because you're not the rider. We've bonded
Okay.
with
Well,
guidance.
I'll ask for permission. I'll ask for permission if I can
Uh,
first.
Lieutenant does nod.
Retroactively.
You're welcome to try. They're war steeds, so they can get a little bit in your face. You asked for permission. No disadvantage anymore, but it's a flat roll.
I understand, and I take full responsibility of my own actions.
Core, I got you.
Don't make the roll too flat.
That's a good animal handling roll.
Yeah,
Wait. I said the D4.
25.
25. The literal war animal begins to buck at your hand. As you calm them with your own gestures. It's still doing it, but doing it like a cat would, bapping at a hand or fighting with it. It's playing around now. You haven't bonded with this animal, but for sure you have become friendly with it. And you're more or less playing with it before the ride happens.
Gone from rearing to
With it,
prancing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll play with it and sneak it a apple slice or something.
Yeah. It more or less acts like a dog currently, as it begins to run around, chase, fly over people as you guys are taking your short rest. Jemmy's over here sleeping while you keep waking him up.
How does the lieutenant take this?
She nods with
Oh,
affirmation and impressed that you were able to rear them quite well.
oh, these are the sacrifices I make for this pilgrimage.
Leatherwork, leatherwork, leatherwork.
Leatherwork. Sigvald pampering
I see a
Camilla.
progress bar over Finder's head.
Yeah, it's almost complete. As you
Uh,
finish playing with the horse, when
Tink, tink,
it
tink, tink, tink.
rolls back and actually rest for a bit before the flight, drinking into the healing water. The lieutenant does look towards you all, and then towards Wynn first. Impressive. A lot of the bonded animals do not take well to others.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, I can see why
You
so
s-
many individuals wanted to hire you. I think that's the term they were using. Or as Jemmy said, poach you.
She shrugs. I don't know why.
The background pans ever so slightly, and you see your cat Garan giving you death eyes.
Oh,
Like
they're-
there should be no other than I.
Oh, sorry. They're totally not
Yeah,
there. They're at home.
No, but yeah,
Oh, okay.
Well, they still saw it anyway.
Oh,
But yeah, I'm just chilling with the horse as it drinks,
Mhm.
petting him down and brushing him.
The lieutenant does smile at that. The other individuals begin to round up and mount their horses.
That's
Put-
the most druid thing I've seen all day.
Really? After everything else I've done? This?
Yep, this is it.
Well, is the Pegasus I'm with a boy or girl?
girl.
Well, she is very special. As I pet her.
Yeah. As you're doing so, the lieutenant is like getting the writing stuff back on her mount, so are the rest of the individuals. Because you're petting her, it's a lot calmer when doing it. She nods to you with gratitude and looks towards your team. Now then, this is a journey, one I'd suggest not taking too lightly.
Fine, just like clip, 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 clip. But I've been paying attention, yes. The rest of them are just going to drink coffee. And they'll be fine, apparently.
Well, I guess I could take one if that will ease your minds.
It would be a shame for no one to use them.
Well, there's only 2 left.
All right, I'll take one. Thank you for all your hard work. It's really appreciated.
You're welcome.
I give him a pat on the head.
It's very patronizing.
But I'll take it.
Yeah.
But this is
Right.
how to show appreciation to all living things.
At least it took some effort for her to pat your head. When you're this low to the ground, everybody's always doing that.
Well,
I apologize
is
for
this
my
better?
gruffness. I mostly
if-
show appreciation to the dead.
Well, if you don't like the pet hats, how about this? And I just hug him.
Am I cold-blooded or warm-blooded? No.
Or is
Is
your
this-
blood just starting to boil?
Is
Probably-
this better?
Thank you for your appreciation.
No problem. Thank you for all your hard work. And I'll take one of the things and head over to the lieutenant and ask her for help to put this on.
Yeah. It's more or less like a
Now
bungee
I
system.
see. Now it's all become clear. No.
It's more or less a bungee system, so you are able to be strapped in without an issue. Same with Sigvold and Eula. Finder has an extra one, as well as his very good one. As
I'm wearing one too.
sorry, Jimmy, you have none.
I have no what?
Uh,
Oh, I thought you said there was an extra one.
yeah, that was the last one.
It's the extra one.
The last one, what?
Oh.
Sorry, my audio's going crazy at the moment.
It's fine. The cords to help the riding and not fall off were divided already. Jemmy's the only one that didn't get it one.
Hmm.
Is why I'm saying sorry,
Um,
Jemmy.
If it's between me and Jemmy, I'll let Jemmy take it because I've got another something in case there's any problems.
Oh, I was
Pretty
gonna say, can you
specifically
get mine
declined it.
if you really need it.
I mean, Finn has a freaking flying broom, right?
Yeah, if I fall off, I can catch back up.
We'll see.
Well, my broom only flies at 50. They might have to slow down and pick me up, but at least I'm not going to splat on the ground.
For sure. At the very least. Getting on your mounds as the true riders, get on beforehand, helping you or like politely gesturing with their hand for assistance. Some of you can take it, or some of you can try to climb yourselves up top of a riding horse or a steed. You can tell me by saying, by rolling. Everyone go ahead and roll animal handling, win with advantage, because you've already, interact with your own mound. Everyone else, you tell me how good with animals you are. By giving yourself advantage or disadvantage. Or just a flat roll.
Well, I did a great job with Cece the other day.
Mm.
That's true, but have you ever ridden a horse? Yes, you have money. Advantage.
I have ridden a horse before, but I am not above the honor of taking the hand of
Makes sense. Advantage as well. Finder.
Finder's probably never ridden a horse, but he's also not like, you know, how horses can sense people's emotions or like if they're skittish or worried or anything. He's probably just like, and I load it up and I put the things on and I'm gonna get up here.
Do you take the
Not like
assistance of the rider?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Advantage. Animal handling.
And animal handling is probably still not gonna be great. Oh, natural 20 on the first one. I don't have to justify anything, motherfuckers.
Jemmy. Advantage as well. I'm just gonna laugh
Oh,
if
I've
you're
done
the
this.
one that fails.
I've done this before, but there's always some room for expert guidance. So now, with that out of the way,
Oh no. Oh,
up.
okay.
Okay, 27. The horse likes me even more than the cat does.
DC was a 12.
Most of y'all pass.
You did.
Oh, what a fine creature you are.
The DC would be far harder if the riders weren't on there first. You all easily mount onto your steeds. Finder, you like uploading everything already on, helping out Finn and Win, Sigvald and Eula when possible.
Monk is on the back of the horse, like you know, in the westerns, like a saddle roll or like
Yeah.
a bed roll. He's just like flopped over the back, like bleh.
You move so seamlessly and cleanly by the time the Pegasus has time to react. You're already on the back. Jemmy, you like take the hand of the rider, politely kiss it on the back as one would a lady. This is a lady rider, technically. Don't know if there's a different name for. No, probably not. It's probably still rider. Mounting the horse as cleanly, as briskly as possible. Your billowing
If you want to
cape
get fancy, you could
whirls.
say chevalier, which is French for horse knight.
Whatever Finder
Chevalier.
just said, I'm not going to pronounce it because I'm going to butcher it.
It's like cavalier, but à la français, chevalier.
Even without a bungee system, like everyone else is strapped in, you are like elegantly riding it, steadfast and strong. The lieutenant, now that you know their actual rank, does look towards all of you. Right then. If everyone's ready to go, we can commence. Oh, I suppose I should give you my name. I am known as Rhea. You probably would have said this a
Hello,
while ago.
Ray.
Nice to meet you, Rhea. I am Finn.
I'm Jemmy, fabulously wealthy celebrity cleric. At your service.
I'm called Finder.
I just should have given you her name a while ago. Or at the very least, she would have been polite.
We never get anybody's name.
Hmm.
If you are going to kill a man, it's good not to know his name.
She begins to state, now this will be a rough journey of 2 days. Thankfully enough, our steeds are capable of making the travel. However, many people cannot make it well. If and when you do fall, think about the location that you consider your home. If you do fall through the clouds, you will land in that location. But it may hurt. And depending on where we are during our movement of travel, it might just more than hurt.
What are we expected to do about some
Anywhere?
not eating, but after eating? What happens after sets?
Not sure what you mean by not eating.
No, you eat and then Are we not? How do you shit in the saddle?
Oh, we just don't talk about it. Harry Potter rules, but before J.K. Rowling's decided to change the rules, there are bathroom breaks when at all possible.
Magic saddles. Don't worry about it.
No, there are like places you go and take rest
Okay.
stops, but like most
Alright,
D&D games, you just don't talk about it.
Okay.
You said anywhere. Is that anywhere in the land we came from, or anywhere at all ever?
I am expressing a lot of gratitude internally for having a very plush mattress on my bed at Section 9.
Rhea does look towards you, Finn, and she does state, I am not sure where you hail from. If this is not your domain, perhaps it can take you to where you belong. I cannot guarantee that. This is the mortal plane in which we make our trek. If yours does not lie within this realm, it may be more difficult, but not impossible, perhaps.
So that's in to say you're saying we have a magic sort of parachute or net, but you don't know how far it can teleport us.
Correct.
Wouldn't you consider your home to be in Section 9 for now, Finn? If my eyes don't deceive me, it seems like you have some attachments around here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna open a psychic connection with Wynn if she's flying close enough.
That's one. Think of home if you fall. Don't get so tired that you fall asleep and then fall. Keep sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Opening the psychic connection, I'll just very quickly say to her, I've only been wanting to go home for the last several months now that I've been here. But now that I have this possible opportunity, I'm not so sure. I mean, we are here to do something, and it would be dishonorable for me to back out on everybody, but
Well,
I don't know if that's all.
Well, I think your feelings are quite valid. It's like you spent your whole life over there and you're only recent here, but I'd like to think that you make your home wherever you want. So
Thank you.
no problem. I won't blame you either way.
You two are looking really intently at each other. What's going on?
As you're flying in the air, you guys are just doing this. They do break through.
I shadow to Rhea. This is awesome while we're flying.
Ignoring Finder, you state this. You float through the clouds, and you can tell that this is already a journey that's going to be rough. Even with your guys' history, you've never ridden horses that fly in the air. That's like not common at all.
Yeah.
As you soar,
It takes training.
for a good amount of time, you eventually break through into the waterscape itself, the vis-a-vis landscape of the ocean. As you look behind you, potentially some of you, if not, that's fine. But you do see that the coastline is moving away, and formations of storm clouds begin, not fully, enveloping you. Rhea does state, right, the clouds themselves protect us from the environments in which we go through. As I do not know what's wrong with your land, but many of its pathways are riddled with rips and tears.
one of those questions where it's like, I don't know what's wrong with your country. It's like, oh, so much. So much.
Yeah, we're kind of fucked up over here.
Eula does state, there might be a reason why our land is called the Forbidden Zone. Rhea then states, that might be it. Don't really know. I just know that we use this pathway as a trial training ground for the new recruits.
And it's a very punishing land if second survives there, I imagine. So I imagine it's actually nicer where we're going than the Forbidden Lands.
Remarkably, yes.
Okay, so that's good. And how long has it been now that we've
It's
been flying?
been about an hour.
And we're already in the ocean.
You're already in the ocean.
Okay, so it's quite far into the ocean. So okay.
Oh, wait,
Glad I've
sorry.
got the straps.
It would be at this point 6 hours to make it to the ocean and then an hour afterwards. So I guess 7
Okay.
hours.
Out of our 36-hour journey, so it's still quite far into the ocean.
Quite far. Breaking
Yes.
through into the ocean, now being fully enveloped by the clouds, you begin to feel a pressure within and around yourselves. You feel the storm clouds racing around you, and the first initial strike happens. As you are an hour into the ocean, she does state, right then, these are the current forms in which the first, I suppose, the last leg of the race for many of my own members here, or at least the start of yours.
I'll say to my writer, shit, I should have made you one of the straps to keep in. Do you not? Why don't you get those?
Oh, just to clarify, did we get the long rest in?
You did.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just gonna change map because only you can't see around you. As you're flying in the air, fully healed, fully rested. So fully rested, fully spell back. The storm clouds around you begin to storm heavily and sway heavily. Right then, these are the magical waves within this current environment. We are nearing the city of the water. As the waves begin to rush underneath you, you feel the ever current storm outside of this actual storm, causing jutting movements within the clouds themselves. As Jemmy casts Warding Bond,
No, I didn't mean to. I was trying to just read it. I don't
as
even have that prepared.
Jemmy begins to read Warding Bond along the road, your horses begin to buckle and shake. This is the first thing you guys need to overcome. This is a dexterity saving throw as the horses begin to move away from these current waves. Everyone with a bungee system will have advantage. Everyone else will have disadvantage. Because you've never done this before, it would be disadvantage, so it just cancels out to a flat roll. Jemmy, I'll give your first roll advantage since, you got a natural 20. Finder, you're fine.
Yeah, man. Preparation.
May the Korai guide me because I can't reach with
Dexterity saving throw.
With advantage, if we pass.
With advantage if you had the bungee system, but disadvantage if you've never done this before, so it's a flat roll. Nice.
Is this
Yeah,
a
I think
situation
that-
where I can guide myself, or is this coming too much of a surprise?
No. She would have told you, watch out for this. She can't tell you beyond the initial thing. So how long does guidance take to cast?
Yeah, because
It's just an action that lasts a minute.
You can do it.
Okay, yeah. Because if you need your hands free
That's a
to
good
cast
point.
it on yourself, so if you can cast it a minute before you get into it, or 30
maybe
seconds before, yeah.
She can't tell you too soon because her riders need to actually experience the ride. but you would be told early enough that it wouldn't deflect from the actual trial her riders are going through. So, Jemmy, you can cast guidance. Same with you, Flynn.
Yeah, and I did, and I got a 15 total.
All right, fingers crossed here. You said Dex saving throw, right?
Yes.
Phew.
15,
25.
15, 20, and Finder, you auto succeed.
Oh, you had advantage? Did I have advantage? Or no?
Did you get one of the things that I made? I made 4 things.
Yeah.
For the
But you've
group.
never
Yeah, I
done this before, so it'd be disadvantage, so it just flattens out to a even roll.
Okay. Okay.
Which is why I was thinking, oh, Finder's for sure gonna beat me in this.
Mm-hmm.
But then people were saying, I don't need this, like, but then people
Hey
took it.
man, I was right there with
Nope.
you, assassin
Nope.
people in and be like, "You don't want my pie?
15
You
to
don't like
succeed.
pie?"
As they rush away from these waves, you guys begin to move and buck, but you hold strong. Finn and Jemmy, you hold well enough that you don't fall or cause any issue. Jemmy, unfortunately, you do have no system to help you on your next roll, and I've already been nice enough. So you succeed in this one. I'm just letting you know if there's anything else you can assist yourself with the next roll. Feel free to do so. As these waves begin to wash away, Rhea does look towards the team after 30 minutes pass. All right, we're going to hit the wall, which is the wall the city itself protects itself within itself. I want you all to be prepared and get ready for this shock. Shock indicating notion that sounds like a constitution save, if anything else. As you guys begin to see a lining wall more or less 200 feet away as you brace for impact.
Question. Do we
Yes.
have advantage then?
You have advantage again because the potential risk factor is hitting the wall and falling off. Finder, good call on those ropes.
Okay.
You might
Eight.
take
how about,
damage though. It's still a con
about,
save.
How about Demi, since he doesn't have a rope?
If Jemmy does fail, he only need to make a dex save. That is the disadvantage here. But the constitution
how-
save is a flat one.
Yeah.
How close am I to him? Like, am I close?
You are 30 feet away. Everyone's around 30 feet away. You don't fly close, or else you might hit each other.
Yeah. And we're not in control of our mounts.
I think we can do that.
Okay, so I will summon my wild companion and have it fly over to Gimme. Is it Gimme or Jimmy?
I thought it was
don't know. What do you
Guy.
think?
The eternal mystery.
It's gemmy, like a
Gem. Okay.
precious stone.
Yeah, I just like to mess with his name.
Okay, so I'll have my wild companion fly. It's basically just something familiar. I'll have it fly over to Jemmy, and I'll cast through my familiar enhance ability.
Yeah. Your hawk flies through the air. It can barely keep up, but thankfully enough, it keeps up enough that it latches onto Jimmy for the spell to hit and proc, and then the wind buffs it away. Jemmy, you definitely get the advantages of that, but it then gets dispelled as the storm is torrential. When you for sure did that, but this is how dangerous this thing is. So, Jemmy, you do get that spell. And what does the spell do again, Win?
Is it 1d4 or is it advantage?
No, it's
I think you have to pick the ability.
it's advantage.
You touch a
Yeah,
creature.
it's basically since he needs to make a Constitution saving throw first, I can give him best endurance, which gives him
Nice.
advantage on Constitution checks
Mhm.
or or whatever.
And 2d6 temporary hit points. He says that would help.
Yeah. The con save for everyone is at advantage, except for Jemmy. Jemmy is a flat roll, but with enhanced ability, it is with advantage as well. So you all roll with advantage on con save, thanks to Finder's bungee system. Finder, you do need to roll still con, but that's only depending on how much damage you take. Half or full. But you do not fall.
Can I cast heroism on myself?
Yeah.
I know. I'm not afraid.
Well, you literally can't be afraid anymore, so.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not afraid, you're afraid. See, I'm not afraid.
Alright, Jimmy, I really hope this helps you.
Feeling that energy, I'm also going to cast Bless. I'm going to cast that on myself, the writer that I'm with. And I don't know, is there anybody in range that I'll actually cast it on the Pegasus as well.
Okay.
So that basically this whole writing package that I'm on is blessed for this attempt here.
Mm-hmm. Might be a good thing. For sure, the advantage did help win.
Okay, that's
my
my
too, jiggity.
That's my D4 for the bless.
Let's
And
Finder. Finder rolled the 18.
I would have had a natural 1 if it weren't for that advantage.
all right, 24.
Oh, for sure it did help.
Okay, with a core eye bless me and just your standard blow. 23.
23 is good, so is 21 plus 3. 18 is also good. 17's a little hit or miss, but not impossible to break. Everyone rushes through the wall, and you feel a very guttering feeling on your body as soon as the blue light hits you. It's like going through... The best way I can describe it is a wall of fire, but always on and always there. As you hit it, you guys do sustain 3d8 points of psychic damage. 19 rounded down to those of you that got 18 and over. Now, unfortunately, when you did
How
get a
much-
17, which means you do take the full 19.
So is that 10 or 11 too?
Let's say 10.
Okay.
Those that got succeeded get 10. When you did fail, unfortunately, which means you do need to make a dex save. However, you've already gone through this type of torrential hit beforehand thanks to the wave pattern, which would make it a flat roll. However, Finder get you the bungee strap system, which gives you advantage. So it is advantage.
Natural
22.
20.
You begin to move away. However, you realign yourself. Rhea looks behind her as she notices you still on. Good. Most people fall with that.
I'm okay, just a massive. I'm okay, just a massive migraine.
Yeah. Gets a lot of people. Finn.
I'm good, keep going, this is exciting. I tell her.
You get 4 hit points back.
Is it a distance spell, Finn?
60 feet, but
Nice. Yeah, you can do it.
hold on. Yep.
Again, everyone that did succeed still takes 10 points of psychic damage. So Finn, you'd be at 30. Finder, you'd be at full health and then down 10. So that'd be 28.
Well, I had heroism up, so
Oh, yeah, that's true. Good call. Jemmy,
Yeah.
if you healed yourself, which you did, I believe. So you probably also did the math correctly.
It's what I didn't heal myself, but I had 5 temporary hit points. So that absorbed half that damage.
Nice. Going through the wall does hit hard. As you're going through the city, you can tell that something is happening underneath you. A strange vocal pattern is hitting you guys. You do not know what this language is unless you speak Aquan.
Speak what now?
The water form of primordial.
Okay, no.
Oh,
I
I
have
do.
primordial.
That'll work.
Yeah, I do too.
As you're waving through, you do hear in this primordial dialect. There it is again! Take them down! You're not sure what's going on, but they do consider you're a hostile threat. And because Win and Finn did hear this beforehand, Rhea does shout out, everyone shout for projectiles. Win and Finn, you guys already were aware of this. You gain advantage. This time the bungee system doesn't help. So everyone else will just have to roll dexterity saves at a flat roll.
Oh.
When you were saying something.
Can I do the blessing of the Korai with this one or no?
Yeah.
Is Finder still rolling flat?
Yes.
This was
These are just
super
people
good one.
shooting at you with
Alright.
whatever they're shooting at.
All right.
Oh, I can do this to help people. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. I was actually thinking of casting Warding Winds
Mm.
on myself. It's a 10-foot radius, so is it big enough to get the Pegasus as well?
It would get you, the Pegasus, and the rider, so Rhea. Everyone else is too far away.
Yeah, I just didn't want to I just wanted to make sure it was big enough to catch all of us in our riding party.
Yes. Your specific riding party, yes.
I guess I will tell Rhea, don't worry, I got this. As the clouds and winds start to surround us, as it increases, it starts to create a buffering shield of wind.
Normally these are hit or miss depending on your roll. I'm just gonna see if they even can hit you. DC is 15. I'm gonna give them no modifier. And roll twice. Yeah. People begin to move when you create a vortex around you and your rider, Rhea, and their steed with enough force that it is just repelling everything else around it. Let's see here. Finn, you would have advantage on your roll. Finder and Jemmy, you would have just a flat roll.
So I'm thinking about casting Bless again, and I got 2 questions. It's got a 30-foot radius. Are there any other riders within range of that other than one I'm with?
Finder.
All right. And then the other thing is that if I go ahead and cast these other riders to sort of make it easier for them to avoid this stuff, will that help potentially steady them out so it's easier for us to withstand this?
Honestly, yes.
In that case, I'm definitely doing that. So I'll cast Bless. I'll go ahead and hit my rider, Finder's rider, and Finder himself.
Okay. Good way of giving you advantage.
That's the advantage with Bless. Nice.
It is now.
Well,
It is
you
now.
get a D4 because
It is
the advantage.
now. Okay.
Because you're also blessing the rider is why it's advantage.
Okay.
And you
All
said
right.
it was a dex save?
A dexterity save with advantage and your d4.
And the D4.
That is a 13.
I didn't die this time.
Did you not bless yourself, Jimmy?
I did not. I was focusing on the riders to the advantage.
Okay. Unfortunately, that is a 13. The DC to beat this time was... Sorry, I said that backwards. Unfortunately, that is 13. The DC to beat this time was 14.
You should have blessed yourself.
Now, depending on my roll, it could mean you got hit with something very hard or you got hit with something minor. But I'm going to make you roll. Go ahead and roll 1d100.
Is this a falling scenario?
This is... Let's see how much damage this
It
does.
depends on the roll.
Enough might cause a falling scenario. Not enough will just be a minor scrape. That's 10. That's a minor scrape. You just see a flying shoe lunge towards you, absorbed
Flying
with
shoe.
a lot of water, as if it was not encapsulated with the water and just shot at you. At this point, the water is like rushing away from it, and you just get hit with a boot. You take 5 points of bludgeoning boot damage. But you survive.
You hooked a boot?
Sorry, I missed that. What was going on?
You got hit with a boot, you take 5 damage.
Okay.
10 was a good roll from you.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
So, good thing you didn't roll 90 or above. Other than that, I still need Finn's roll.
Okay, and I have advantage. Since this happened like this, can I bless myself or no?
Yes.
Core guidance, okay. And dexterity.
Well, I already told you the
4.
DC was 14, so 24 does hit. Sorry, does succeed. Roaming around the area, Finder's steed and Jemmy's steeds begin to roam around. Jemmy's the only one that takes a boot to the face, while everyone else moves away. As you see things flying towards you, you see tridents, you see bidents, you see weird projectiles encapsulated with water. Whatever
All
this city
manner of
is,
underwater
a
stabbies.
lot of water. But you funnel through, and Rhea does state, all right, we're going to puncture in through the wall again. Everyone ready?
Do we need to do anything?
Survive. Con saves. Flat rolls.
Question.
Yes.
My thingy lasts for 10 minutes. Does that help in this scenario?
Yeah, it would be less than 10 minutes, so it would still be on.
Okay, also,
Would it help us get through the barrier in any way?
Yes. I'll give you advantage. Makes sense because it's a rebuffing wall around you, helping you get through a rebuffing wall.
Con save?
Yes. Question though. Would the enhance ability still be active? How long does it last?
No, enhance ability would not be active because it is a concentration spell.
Ah, okay. Then Jemmy, flat roll.
Right? Yes.
Finn, Finder, flat rolls, and win advantage. Unless you can be creative.
is it possible that this is some sort of magical effect?
It is magic enough.
Submit my documents.
Advantage
The
on
TM.
Spell and magic effect saves. I'll allow it.
You want
Advantage.
cheap your blood?
Although they don't.
I have a question.
Yes.
Before we hit the wall, can I heal myself,
Oh yeah, for sure.
knowing that it's gonna deal damage?
Yeah. As long as it's like a quick thing. 'Cause you didn't have to cast a spell again. That's still active. So you can definitely have a action or reactional thing. Same with Finn, Finder, or Jemmy. That's why I'm allowing the whole bless thing.
And as far as heroics go, where it
And that was-
says you gain temporary HP points every turn, that doesn't stack, does it? It's
No.
just like 5 every turn, and it just stays 5 unless
Correct.
it goes down. Okay, good.
So that is. When did you re-roll your con save?
Oh, you told me I had advantage, so I just rolled it. Do I re-roll it?
I just making sure that the 13 is your con save.
Yeah, for this attempt.
Yeah, okay. So that's 13, 15, 15. Man.
And I'm gonna throw out a.
He's sitting there
Plus-
being like, it was 16, motherfuckers. You're all gonna get hit.
No, it's higher than 16.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw a bless on myself, and is Finder still close by?
I'm gonna say everyone is within range.
I can only hit 3 people, so whoever seems most vulnerable, I guess.
When Finder, and probably yourself.
D4.
Alright. Yeah.
Win, go ahead and roll a d4. Still trying to help, but it's not working.
Alright.
Worked about as good as it could for me.
Mhm.
Oh no.
Ow.
Oh no. Oh no.
Well, Jemmy
Someone-
Fisher failed,
Man,
so
just
one
do
unfortunately.
better
worse than Win
think of
did, I
it.
think.
Win unfortunately failed. Finder, 14.
Well, no, 15.
15, right,
Plus
advantage
4.
Did succeed.
Hey.
Finn, 15, unfortunately failed as well. So Finder's the only one that succeeded this time. DC to beat, I'm just going to tell you, since you don't have to go through another wall today. 18. You're literally going through a wall. It has to be hard.
Man, that's what. No. But I got lucky. Thanks
Yes.
for the blessing.
So
Uh,
we do the dex save, right?
Yes, but first you take the damage. So let's see if you guys. I'm pretty sure none of you are going to be knocked out, but you guys do take 3d8 points of psychic damage as you go through a magical wall, more or less, taking 16 points of damage.
I'm so happy I healed myself.
Yeah.
Halved for Finder or
Halved for Finder.
earlier?
Since you succeeded, you don't have to make a dex save. Everyone must make a dex save. Finn and Win, you've been rebuffed before, so you just make a flat roll thanks to Finder's bungee system. I'll give you advantage. Jemmy, you've been rebuffed before, so you just make a flat roll. No bungee system, no advantage.
I'm wrong. What was that? A deck save?
A dex save.
Alright, well, let me.
This is
roll up.
immediately after you went through the wall. This is not a time that you get what's it called? Bless. Unfortunately.
The
My
fact that
blush
this is
Actually, my blush should still be up. It lasts for a minute.
Cool. Then it's still up.
The fact
Alright,
that this has turned from like ropes and straps of leather into a bungee system can't make me help but like imagine this is them flopping all around, being like boring. Like no.
Got another
like-
nat 20 on my deck save.
Nice.
Nice.
Natural
Man,
20,
yeah.
22, and 15 are enough to succeed. DC to beat was 15. So, Jemmy, thank you for having your guidance up. I'm not trying to murder you. It's just a tough ride.
Got
I
it.
was
Like-
gonna say, so everybody's still on. Nobody's in a falling position yet.
No one has died yet. People have been hurt. Rhea does state, excellent work. All right, that's for today. We're going to make camp soon in the Dead Heights. Everyone ready?
Yeah.
Ready.
All right.
Boring.
You guys begin to lower and descend yourselves once again, and the storm clouds begin to dissipate, and soon enough you come across what she said are the Dead Heights, whatever that means.
So
and-
no comments in on the people who are trying to kill us in the storm.
Oh.
Well, I was gonna ask that when we land.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
get on the ground first.
Oh yeah, you guys had a bad time of it because your seatbelts weren't good.
Because remember, we're still flying, so we have a lot of that wind rushing around us, so it'll be hard to communicate.
Yeah, but nobody wants to roleplay shouting.
Not this late at night or this early in the morning if Sigvald was
Yeah.
here. Oops. As you guys begin to descend, you enter into what's known as the Dead Heights. Whatever that means. You enter into more or less a petrified forest and make encampment around a structured building which seems like a monolith. I think I'm using the proper word. You make way
It's like a monolith in the background of me.
into a canopied area. The rest of the riders are exhausted. This is supposed to be a heavy and hard trial. They are barely standing.
Everyone doesn't look so good. Is it okay if I help? I asked Rhea.
Not really. They're supposed to be doing it on their own. But, you know, they're supposed to take a good rest between today and tomorrow, so I guess they would be healed by then.
If you want to be very technical about it, they normally wouldn't have carried us either, nor combated with us. So
It's fair. Help away, I suppose.
Thank you. Alright, so I'll make sure everyone's in a 30-foot radius. I'll drop my unicorn totem and start go up to the Valkyries and start healing them and just cascade into healing everybody.
Yeah. I'm gonna say everyone can have a free short rest, which means you can roll all your hit dice and you won't expend all of them. Any of them. So
feeling
the-
real smug, looking at my hit bar.
Tell that to Jemmy and Finn.
Although, now that I look at it, the
That's
enhanced
Sigvald.
ability lasts for an hour, so I guess I probably should have had advantage on that other Constitution roll.
No, because it's a concentration spell, and so is Warding Winds.
Oh, never mind.
Shoot, technically, okay. Let me roll 2
Yeah, that's why I asked.
constitutions. So
But
I
yeah,
got
We're
damage
getting a short
choice.
rest.
you guys
We're
take a
getting
short.
rest.
I'm good. Sorry.
So you guys get a free short rest, expend as many hit dice as you'd like, and you don't lose any of them, thanks to Wynn's healing attribute. I'm going to do that so the riders get healed to a good extent. They do profusely thank you because it's supposed to be a tough journey, and this is the very end of their very long and very... They're very glad
It's
they
one of
brought
those,
you
like,
along.
yeah, you guys aren't so bad after all. You know, like, we started out when you guys stabbed us a lot, and then we had to carry you this whole time, and during the storm. But you know what? You gave us some healing, and I like you.
Well, they like me. And after I do the healing, I want to go up to uh, the Lieutenant's Pegasus, the same one I was interacting with and then
Mhm.
carried me, and uh, interact with it again.
Yeah.
And I do have um, speech of the woods, speech of the woods, which lets me speak to communicate with beasts and such, and they'll understand me and I'll understand them, but it's not like communicate with the animal where it's actually, talking back and forth.
Mhm.
There. You did say I'm not bonded, but it's friendly,
Yeah. Like,
so it counts.
yeah, for sure. You guys are more or less bonded in the way that you bond with friendly animals around you. You can understand them and they can understand you in the motions you make, the noises you make. You can tell that the Pegasus is happy that you're like paying attention to it. But it's also alert and heavily watching its
Yeah.
peripherals. This is a very dangerous
and
area.
my healing does affect the horses as well. The Pegasus as well. I
Yeah.
just want to make sure you know that.
Mhm.
Now, you said you cast some healing. Who was that on?
I was mainly healing just whoever looked fucked up.
Oh,
That was basically everyone minus Finder. If you
Yeah,
want
but
to actually use
Wait.
any spells, Win, then you can use your spells, but that won't heal you guys anymore. Because basically, I said free short rest, so I didn't, so you wouldn't have to use all the spells.
yeah, I was
go ahead and
basically
cast
just
Cure Wounds on myself.
yeah,
Can I do that?
I was mainly focusing on the worst and working my way.
That would probably be the riders.
Yeah.
Well, Jemmy was down to
Like
like
I said.
5.
The riders and Jimmy.
Well,
Yeah.
well, it's too late. I'm healing myself.
I was gonna say you can take an extra d6 on top of your cure wounds. Then when you look around, you just see Finn kind of staring at you with a friendly face.
What?
You can take an extra d6 on top of whatever your cure wounds is, and when you look around, you can see Finn's looking at you with a friendly face.
Gives you a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Finn
my
is all
my
about
last d6 of guiding light. Or,
random, unasked for acts of telepathy.
Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't telepathy. It was the healing light at 60-foot range. It was about my last d6.
Yeah, so Jamie, if you want, roll your d6, back up to full health.
For 2 points.
Underneath the canopy, as Win is taking care of the horse, Pegasus, and the other riders are off screen because there's a whole bunch of them and I don't want them overlapping everything. She does state, Right. We're now in the Dead Highlands, right? In the moment in time. The final day will be the toughest day we have to face. This was just more of a territorial situation. With the. Well, you did mention, Mr. Finder, that you wanted to know why people were attacking us.
Yes. It seemed
We.
unprovoked.
Yeah, unprovoked to us, but provoking towards them. We were going through a city, and their city is one that goes in many directions, if that makes sense.
We sense a storm.
Yes. And
For all we know, maybe they hate
No.
feathers in the city. Perhaps they're allergens.
I do not pause while we're going through that city, as it is a encapsulated dome type of situation, but the dome all the way around, if that makes sense. And within this dome, the civilians move about as freely as if walking through air or swimming through water. From what I'm aware of, many of them are aquatic in nature. And when things that look like a literal storm goes through your city, you generally worry. And at a certain point, you stop worrying and become panicked. And after that point, those with enough violent nature to them attack.
And going around is too prohibitive, or you do it on purpose to test your new recruits?
The pathways that we take are ones that are the most stable. We don't want our new recruits to die. It's just unfortunate that that pathway is through the city.
So this place cannot be reached unless you go through a specific path.
The way we travel, yes. If you go through the normal means of traveling, you would encounter far more risks. And again, we're not trying to get our new recruits dead.
So are we farther away than we started than it appears, or are we on a different plane of existence?
We currently are in a different plane of existence known as a pocket dimension. We are between the material plane and the Dead Highlands. Well, there might be a different name for it in your tongue. The exact words are. Does anyone speak Undercommon?
I don't think so.
Just overcommon.
Under elite.
Yeah, we all wanted to be prepared to go back into the abyss.
Yeah. We're never going there again. No. And am I to assume then that our final destination is also a pocket dimension?
No and yes. It is a land that once resided within a different plane, but now resides within yours.
Is it on the same geological continent as the one that we started on when we first found you?
Further away, but yes.
That's okay.
Well,
we should at least see it, but we do need to get back.
Yes, I will bring you back, but the trial still needed to commence with the riders. Let's say this green area was the forest I found you all at. And this blue line is the line we're currently taking.
Wonderful, you have a paint set.
It is a good
So
distance.
prepared.
And here is our endpoint. It is within the still same material plane you reside in. However, we must take certain pathways to travel. We'd prefer not to be attacked, as this is more of a riding course for the new Valkyrie recruits. So we must...
No, you're trying to be helpful, but this lacks any sort of scale. It's just this picture of a bad key.
I suppose.
A man with no arms who is lying down.
Who's doing the slits? Let's just give you a scale of terms and days.
It's fine. We're going to go with you. Doesn't matter.
Sure. Regardless of any of that, I should let you know things are only going to get worse from here. The destination we are destined to go to is within your material plane, so it will still reside within your world. And once we land there appropriately, I and my captain, as well as other vanguard that are battle tested, will bring you back. Or if my captain actually does know something about magic. Once you get the rank of captain, you actually begin to be taught non-martial prowesses. Many others are left in the dark in case someone goes rogue or abuses their power. It's not as if we don't know magic, I myself personally don't.
I don't trust you. It's just it seems odd for a subordinate to make promises for their superiors.
That is fair to say. I will state, though, that I do have the authority to bring you back. I can't promise that my superiors would bring you back. I just can ask them really, really nicely, and they'll probably say yes.
Checks out.
Use, please.
No. Yeah, when especially is like, well, yeah, that's how the world works, right?
Yep, don't forget to use please.
She nods.
Thank you.
Oh, that nods. Doesn't always
Fish.
work, but my captain is also my older brother, and I could probably sway him.
Who gave me Neo glasses?
I don't know. Wasn't me, honestly. She does state, though, currently we are in... Oh, wait, none of you spoke Undercommon, right?
No.
Nope.
It's not important. She's just going to say a word. In Undercommon, it is known as the Shadowfell. Not important here or the other, but this is where you're currently, like, rest stopping, which is why the horse is, like, so worried and, like, looking around.
Just out of curiosity, would Finn know of the Shadowfell?
You might have heard
Because of the,
rumors, but...
Because of the Dreaming Dark?
You don't fully understand it or where you're at, but you have heard of it, but you probably didn't understand the word.
Okay. I know it by a different name then. Okay.
Rhea does state, we should be fine here. We are always near this monolith as its current owner. How should I say this politely, since they do take care of us? Is imposing. So no one wander inside, or to, as adventurers do. gather things.
Stay out here. Don't take anything. Try not to touch anything. Got it.
Yes. We are only allotted this space, if I'm going to be perfectly frank.
Okay.
Alright.
Keep your hands and feet within the magic circle at all times.
My riders
Yeah.
themselves will be making their own camp, as well as taking shifts on at the night, but they do not have the strength to also protect all of you. So I do suggest making your own watch formations when needed.
Assume that we'd integrate our defenses.
We can also do that, but sure. I have no reason to make things harder than they already are.
I'm
my man.
sorry. I mean, did we not beat you in a trial by combat? It's not something that would be good for everyone.
I'm not saying it's not good. I am saying that this is still a trial for them. I'm just leaning on how difficult I should still make it for them.
We should.
All right. So tell you what,
combine.
we'll be on the inside and they have to defend us. Sounds challenging, right? We'll make soup.
I'm not trying to murder them.
No.
Stop being mean.
Find her. Yeah, find her. She's just trying to, train them. This is a training mission for them. We're kind of in the way. We should let them, train to be able to do this without the extra help.
Like, she for sure believes you guys can protect yourselves. It's more like, how difficult should I make it for my team, since they were for sure are honor bound to protect you guys, but at the exact same time, if they try to protect you guys, they make themselves more defenseless.
They don't have to. No, I'm saying is we can be in the inside of the ring, as it were. They look out if something happens. We defend ourselves. They defend themselves and us.
Well,
I think we're all in this tending together at the moment.
Yeah, how's about we
Yeah.
defend them? We defend the horses.
Again, it's still a trial, and I do thank you for trying to defend the team. Let's say you defend the horses, and they can defend themselves.
I know. Well, that's why I've been asking if it's okay if I do help when I do, because I know this is supposed to be a trial for them to see if they're fully ready. So I didn't want to overstep.
It's quite all right, Miss Wynn and Mr. Finder. Again, I'm making it up as I go. New experience. Usually don't bring individuals alongside unless they're new recruits.
Well, it's never bad to seek help.
How about this? Compromise.
Thunder's like, that's what happens when you lose a duel.
How about this? Compromise. Mr. Finder, how about your team protects the horses so my team has less to worry about? They still need to protect themselves, but have less bodies they need to protect.
Sounds like a square deal. Thank you.
Yeah, that seems good. Besides, I'm already trying to calm down the horses since they seem to be kind of on edge. If they stay too tense for too long, there'll be a bit more fatigue when we leave, and that would be bad for everybody.
Of course.
Me? Just trying to help.
People as well as yourselves begin to unmound the horses. By unmount, I mean getting all the riding gear stuff off, minus the reins. So if they do need to be led somewhere, you loosen them up enough. But if they do need to be led somewhere, they can be led. You more or less make up camp. We are going to end here, but I do want to know there are 3 shifts that need to be taken. Who takes those shifts?
I'll take the middle
Can
watch.
I do one more? Can I do one more thing before shifts are taken?
Sure.
after Wynn was done communicating with the Pegasuses, and she's just kind of standing there with not really anything to do, I guess. A magical feather kind of sneaks up behind her and starts tickling her, just playfully, and then zips around her head, and then
Haunted forest.
and then slides into her ear, or it slides into her hair behind her ear.
Wood will find that amusing. She'll play along with the feather and giggle and stuff.
More or less.
She'll she knows the only person who can do weird stuff like that is Finn, so she'll give him a bright smile as she turns back to take care of the horses.
What I tell you,
I'll observe that with
unsolicited
amusement.
Unsolicited acts of psychokinetics. What I tell you.
Finn will blush and smile back. And smile.
More or less trying to bring levity to the situation. People begin to more or less prepare for their shifts. Jemmy takes middle. Who takes beginning and who takes end?
I guess I can go beginning.
Yeah,
I'll take first watch too. We've got 2 people left.
And Findra will
Like
take
yours
the
can-
end.
Always can double up.
Yep.
Findra's last watch.
Okay.
So does Sigvald go ahead and go with Jemmy then? Because it'd be me and Win first, Jemmy second, and then Finder and Honk.
I'll let him decide next week, and I'll let you, Finn, decide who you go with next week.
Oh, I already said I'll take first watch with Win.
Oh, okay. We're gonna make these
Leaving
rolls
Jemmy the only one who doesn't.
next week.
have a
I just
second
wanted
person.
someone to label to put next to first, middle, and last.
Okay, yeah.
People begin to set up, prepare. Win and Finn begin to make ready for watch, keeping an eye on the Pegasi, keeping watch on your team, and maybe slightly keeping watch on the new recruits. Maybe. Probably.
Keep an eye on the Pegasi.
As
Love it.
you watch through this dead man forest, you do feel a stirring and a commotion. The horses are riled up for a reason. Just because the person that owns the land is imposing doesn't mean that there aren't mindless things that don't wander through the forest. But what those things are, we'll have to wait and see if next time, as we end the session for today.